Hi, it's David and Sen, and we just wanted to talk to you about inductions. And before we know it, we'll be on the dawn of all of our sprightly new graduates coming in to the organisations, wanting to be inducted. And I know how much effort goes into getting an induction ready, with some companies flying graduates in from everywhere, some doing localised programs. So Sen and I will kind of talk to you about some of the trends we're seeing. I guess if we position ourselves, we're probably a fair way out in terms of a couple of months from when most people will begin inductions, late January, February. What are some of the tips and advice and you'd give them now in terms of their planning and preparation?
Yeah, so planning is key for induction. It comes about really quickly, as David just mentioned. So a couple things to ensure you really get locked in now are guest speakers. So that's key, especially into the Christmas period where people get busy.
Rooms. Some people forget rooms.
If you might have to hire externally as well. So, book external venues, pay those deposits. And catering is key. Sometimes people forget about that as well.
So rooms, speakers, catering.
Travel. So potentially graduates might...
Inviting your graduates.
Inviting them, making sure they have a placeholder in their calendar. And travel as well. Like I said, booking travel for anyone who needs to move around. And then just collateral as well. Are you going to be giving them pens or notebooks, things away, getting that locked in early? The simple things, get them ticked off early.
So that's kind of from an organising and planning. I mean, we're hoping most of the grad managers out there have been engaging this year with their candidates and the graduates that they made offers to as a part of what we're saying is a critical year of engagement, onboarding, keeping them. So most of that stuff should have been done by now. It shouldn't be a surprise to any graduate that they're starting and what date they're starting, with some of them travelling. So we kind of start going into the content, and we would probably on average be seeing 2 to 5 day induction programs. What's your thought around the length of a program, Sen?
So I think that's ideal, 2 to 5 days. It gives you time to be able to get them to engage and learn about the business, learn about the 101 basics about operations and business processes and the who's who and leadership. But then it can dive more into their personal development as well. And then potentially they can also be spending time with each other and people in the business. So that 2 to 5 day gives you enough time to do everything in depth.
So and probably the easiest way to break it down is doing about the business. Potentially day one, leaders coming in and talking about the organisation, maybe in the afternoon softening it with just the grads about the values and doing an activity. So day one is about the business. Second day moves into more about yourself, or more about yourself as a young new grad transitioning into this new environment and this new working life. And what we're finding day 2, day 3 is incorporating segments, whether it be networking or personal brand, transitioning to corporate life, engaging with different managers. It's just critical that you're putting together a 2 or 3 or 5 day experience. Some organisations are even taking them on site, so organisations with sites.
For the few days, take them to off-site, have like competitions and have engagement and social events are really key as well.
So giving the grads their own time, because that inner circle is the trusted circle of cohort.
Absolutely.
That becomes important in terms of these graduates feeling safe. And then the second layer is the grad managers. So giving them some time, social events, meet and greets with their managers and senior leaders in the organisation. So all of these things you can map out, but just be mindful. These graduates, it's probably the first time they've worked for so long in the day, so they do get tired, and after each day. So plan around maybe not first day or second day, just having an earlier afternoon, maybe a social activity or a game where they can just be with each other and understand and make their friends, keep them in safe zone. Some statistics that have come out, and we're going to release this as a white paper heading into next year, but we've done some research, and this is really important because we use the behavioural assessments from the recruitment methodology or from the process, and we've been able to create a sample size of 2,758 reports, which is showcasing to us the behavioural traits of graduates when they applied and got to assessment centre and interview. And we've also been able to do it for at least 200 that were made offers. And what the data is telling us, and we'll release this in a comprehensive white paper, is that they are already high on the planning and organising skills. So their planning and organisation skills and analytical thinking are very high. So that's something we need to leverage on as their strength. But overarching, when it came to leading, influencing, and a bit of drive and motivation, it was actually an area that we need to focus on in developing. I'm not saying that we do it week one, but it's something that we need to factor in what their actual customised needs are from their own development, because quite often we can get cookie cutted.
Yeah, and that's essential. And feedback like that, and insights like that, can help you tailor and like you say, not everyone fits the same mould.
Yeah. So whether it's a DISC tool or giving them their behavioural development report from the recruitment process, start thinking not day one. It's probably not day two. Whether it's week one or a little bit further down the track. Hey, you can use data to customise your development program and the experience, and how you can start linking it to their IDPs and manage the conversation.
Yeah, and it's very rarely used in the past. This information has been readily available now, so making the most of it will lead to stronger candidates, stronger talent in the end.
So they're just some suggestions and trends from us. Start planning early, start thinking of the design of your days and the content you're putting in, but how that then links to the whole year and the experience. I think, this is the first impression that you're potentially giving to these young people coming into your organisation, being exposed to leaders. So have a think about it, and please ensure that you've got some type of articulated development plan which is
to link
important.
back. Yeah. I think the last thing I wanted to add, David, was how to make that first couple of days more exciting. It can be really easy to sit them down and say, oh, here's our leadership structure, and this is what our business does, and these are who our competitors are. But think about potentially, can you bring any technologies, any innovation or services or products along to the day? We're not all a technology company out there, but hypothetically you may be able to go to your business units and say, what new services are out there, or what things do we do as a business that grads don't know about, what's not on our website, and bring that to the day, and you will surprise and delight them with some new engagement opportunities. Just keep it, sometimes we need to remember to keep it fun and lighthearted. Induction isn't always about being serious all day long as well.
Great advice, and please feel free to reach out from us if you need any more information about the topic of induction or development programs.